Hi, this little box here, suitability questionnaire. Man, there's so much to this. I can tell you from almost 20 years of working with advisors, consumers, loan officers, etc., that I think this area is one of the most important parts of the Ask questionnaire. Because what it does is it allows you to go through and ask a series of questions that help you really, it's kind of like radar, seeing what it is the client is really looking to do. It creates an opportunity to scan for inconsistencies. It also gives you a chance to really get a feel for any obstacles or any opportunities that might be there. How many years do you think you will have this new loan or live in this house? Now that's important because it's very important the way it's asked. Have this new loan and or live in this house. See, if you're going to live in this house for 30 years, but you only expect to have the loan for 5 years, your time frame is 4 to 5 years. If you expect to get a mortgage for 30 years but only live in that house for 5 more years, your time frame is 4 to 5 years. We found that so many people misunderstood this, and what they would often do is get a 30-year fixed, and no one ever asked them if they were planning on being in the house for 30 years. They said, no, our kids are graduating from college in 4 years, so we plan to sell the house. And there's a big opportunity there to help them understand that a 4 to 5 year product may be a better solution for them. Either way, you can look at any of these different time frame windows here to really drill down and start to look at what product would make the most sense, what would provide the interest rate protection they need. How soon would they like this house paid off? It's another very important question. It can create both an opportunity and some opportunities to see through some inconsistencies. I've had consumers say, I'd like to pay this off in 6 to 10 years. But later on, in answering this question below on payment options, they might say that they would like the lowest possible payment. I'll say, okay, that's fine, but you realize if you get the lowest possible payment, that's not going to help you with your key goal right now of paying off the house in 6 to 10 years. But these kinds of shorter time frames, if people say, I really want to get this house paid off, also creates opportunities for me on the repay screen or other screens to model accelerated repayment strategies for that particular client. So again, another thing that it may show up, you may see someone say, look, I plan to be in this house and live in this house for 20 to 30 years. And then they say they'd like to pay the house off in 11 to 15. Well, then their time frame is not 21 to 30, it's 11 to 15. Because again, they're going to be paying off this loan a lot quicker than they're going to be moving out of the house. So that's the time frame I want to be considering. What's the value of all your liquid assets, etc.? And I look for this to be outside of the house. In other words, other investments, other savings, other things, what are we looking at? And these fall into the 3 main classifications for Americans. The vast majority of Americans have less than $25,000 in cash savings or equivalent outside their house. Your mass affluent is really in this 26 to 125, and then your wealthier type clients have 126 or above in liquid net worth cash outside of the home. These seem like really small numbers, but they do help me to immediately know what I'm dealing with. Am I dealing with a young couple just starting out or an older couple that's spent down most of their wealth? Am I dealing with more of a typical mass affluent client? Or am I dealing with someone who's probably more affluent, has financial advisors already in place, and that little question can tell me a whole lot. Do you plan on any major purchases? And if I say yes to this, then it's going to actually bring up 2 new fields for me. For what purpose? I need some furniture, etc., and $20,000. I found this was an incredibly important question because so many people would move into a house, put all their money down, and realize they didn't have the money to do some of the additional work that they wanted to after the fact. I also found that some people might say, gosh, we're going to buy a car for a high schooler. And I would say, what's your budget for that? And they say $10,000. By putting that in, it's going to look at that $10,000 as something we may want to try to pull out of the cash that's available, either from the sale of the home or cash out from the current home. But again, these are all opportunities for you to do a much better job with your overall planning. And if it's possible, would you like to roll these closing costs in to your actual loan? And if I were to say yes to that, then that means if I can, either having a purchase where the client pays a little more and the seller pays their closing costs, or on a refinance, adding that into the loan amount. These help to give me a tremendous amount of information about sort of the psychographic of that client or that consumer, and help me to create more services, more value. As I can say, I've looked at these, I've addressed them, I've helped you do a couple of things. One, we're pulling $10,000 out for the college kids. Two, I'm rolling the closing costs in. 3, I've got a plan for you to be debt free in 15 years. 4, I'd like to talk to your financial advisor, if you have one, about how we can work together. A lot of information comes from the simple set of just a couple of questions.